co.uk. As Polly held his hand, everything in the room came slowly into focus. A nurse came in to check the monitors he was plugged into. He realized that he probably wouldn't be going back to work, and his mood momentarily darkened. He wasn't sure if he could take any more disappointments. But when he looked into Polly's kind face, he could see the light of hope. It was frustrating being laid in bed and not being able to get out and about. The nurse explained to him that he had a heart attack and that he would be being monitored for the next few weeks. He was so happy that Polly was there that he didn't think that he could have pulled through without her. Like an angel, she held his hand and comforted him. His eyes filled with tears, but they were tears of joy. Slowly he accepted the situation, but he couldn't wait to get out of there. The next few days went by slowly and he improved. He began to listen to the radio and took an interest in the outside world again. Polly told him that she had a surprise for him when he got better, and this spurred him on. He concentrated on his reading, and this took his mind off his illness and the boredom of being bedridden. Each book took him on a flight of fancy, and he felt himself transported from the confines of his hospital bed. He read Treasure Island and he imagined himself as a swashbuckling adventurer, and then he read Time Machine and his imagination took off. He imagined himself as a caveman scavenging for food as the sky exploded with lightning, and then he was a sailor on rough seas heading for lands unknown. Then he found himself scrambling in the trenches with his boots full of mud as bullets passed around him. He had a very vivid imagination. Before he knew it, it was dark outside and he pulled the covers up and drifted off to sleep. His main concern was that Polly would be visiting tomorrow, and he couldn't wait to see her. He dreamt that he was on a long snow-covered road, in his dressing gown and slippers. The snow was blowing in his face and mouth, and he was struggling to see where he was going. Hello viewers. In the distance he could see a red sports car with the door hanging open invitingly and the engine purring. His slippers were filled with snow, numbing his toes, but he still kept going. He was determined to get in that car and sit on the plush leather seat and drive away. Unsteadily he plodded on, leaving a trail behind him. Then he looked up and the car seemed to have moved further into the distance. It must be a mirage, he thought. The closer he got, the further away it became. Hello viewers, please sub me if you like it. He was now out of breath and sweating. He picked up the pace and he was desperate to get in and drive away forever to a new life. He trudged on, the wind whipping around him and trying to blow him over and knock him back in like a jealous friend. It was coming down thicker and falling in his hair and mouth. It stung his eyes. It was like he was in a conveyor belt and going the wrong way. In his frustration, he grabbed a handful of snow in his fingers and threw it at the windshield in anger. When it hit the screen, it shattered into mist and he woke with a start. The pillow next to him was ripped and the foam was covering him. He wiped his face and plucked the pieces from his mouth. It was comical and he needed to laugh. He looked at the clock and it was 5 a.m. He sighed and stared at the ceiling, willing for sleep to come. He couldn't wait for Polly to arrive. It was the only thing which kept him going. He drifted off into a daydream about how life would be when he got well. He felt like settling down, but he wasn't sure if Polly would agree to it. Thankfully, he fell asleep again and Polly arrived with a lovely smile on her face. She had been chatting to the nurses and she had good news. He was better and he could go home, they confirmed. He'd made an amazing recovery. The Fortunate Tramp by Jason William Lee on Amazon co.uk. Hope you enjoyed it, viewers. God bless.